Baruch chapter 1. And these are the words of the book which Baruch the son of Neriah, the son of Messiah, the son of Sedecias, the son of Asadias, the son of Celsius, wrote in Babylon, in the 5th year, and in the 7th day of the month, what time as the Chaldeans took Jerusalem and burnt it with fire. And Baruch did read the words of this book in the hearing of Jeconias, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and in the ears of all the people that came to hear the book, and in the hearing of the nobles and of the king's sons, and in the hearing of the elders, and of all the people from the lowest unto the highest, even of all them that dwelt at Babylon by the river Sud. Whereupon they wept, fasted, and prayed before Yahuwah. They made also a collection of money according to every man's power, and they sent it to Jerusalem to Joachim the high priest, the son of Shelcius, son of Salom, and to the priests, and to all the people which were found with him at Jerusalem. At the same time, when he received the vessels of the house of Yahuwah that were carried out of the temple, to return them into the land of Judah, the 10th day of the month Sivan, namely silver vessels which Sedecias, the son of Josias, king of Judah, had made. After that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away Jeconias, and the princes, and the captives, and the mighty men, and the people of the land from Jerusalem, and brought them unto Babylon. And they said, Behold, we have sent you money to buy you burnt offerings, and sin offerings, and incense, and prepare ye manna, and offer upon the altar of Yahuwah our Elohim. And pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and for the life of Belteshazzar, his son, that their days may be upon earth as the days of heaven. And Yahuwah will give us strength and lighten our eyes, and we shall live under the shadow of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and under the shadow of Belteshazzar, his son, and we shall serve them many days, and find favor in their sight. Pray for us also unto Yahuwah our Elohim, for we have sinned against Yahuwah our Elohim, and unto this day the fury of Yahuwah and his wrath is not turned from us. And ye shall read this book which we have sent unto you, to make confession in the house of Yahuwah upon the feasts and solemn days. And ye shall say, To Yahuwah our Elohim belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces, as it is come to pass this day, unto them of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests, and to our prophets, and to our fathers. For we have sinned before Yahuwah, and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly, since the day that Yahuwah brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day. We have been disobedient to Yahuwah our Elohim, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse which Yahuwah appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim, according unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us. But every man followeth the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of Yahuwah our God. Baruch chapter 2. Therefore Yahuwah hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges, and judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son, and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where Yahuwah hath scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahuwah our Elohim, and have not been obedient unto his voice. To Yahuwah our Elohim pertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. For all these plagues are come upon us which Yahuwah hath pronounced against us. Yet have we not prayed before Yahuwah, that we might turn every one from the imaginations of his wicked heart. Wherefore Yahuwah watched over us for evil, and Yahuwah hath brought it upon us. For Yahuwah is righteous in all his works which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice to walk in the commandments of Yahuwah that he hath set before us. And now, O Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, that has brought thy people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and high arm, and with signs and with wonders and with great power, and has gotten thyself a name, has appeared this day. O Yahuwah our Elohim, we have sinned, we have done ungodly, we have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. Hear our prayers, O Yahuwah, and our petitions, and deliver us for thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away, that all the earth may know that thou art Yahuwah our Elohim, because Israel and his posterity is called by thy name. O Yahuwah, look down from thine holy house, and consider us. Bow down thine ear, O Yahuwah, to hear us. Open thine eyes and behold, for the dead are in the graves, whose souls are taken from their bodies, will give unto Yahuwah neither praise nor righteousness, but the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul, and give thee praise and righteousness, O Yahuwah. Therefore we do not make our humble supplication before thee, O Yahuwah our Elohim, for the righteousness of our fathers and of our kings. For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, as thou hast spoken by thy servants the prophets, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, bow down your shoulders and serve the king of Babylon, so shall ye remain in the land that I give unto your fathers. But if you will not hear the voice of Yahuwah, to serve the king of Babylon, I will cause to cease out of the cities of Judah and from without Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of joy, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, and the whole land shall be desolate of inhabitants. But we will not hearken unto thy voice to serve the king of Babylon. Therefore hast thou made good the words that thou spakest by thy servants the prophets, namely, that the bones of our kings and the bones of our fathers should be taken out of their place, and lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day, and to the frost of the night, and they died in great miseries by famine, by sword, and by pestilence. And the house which is called by thy name hast thou laid waste, as it is to be seen this day, for the wickedness of the house of Israel and the house of Judah. O Yahuwah our Elohim, thou hast dealt with us after all thy goodness, and according to all that great mercy of thine, as thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am Yahuwah their Elohim. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the day of their fathers which sinned before Yahuwah. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their Elohim, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Baruch chapter 3. O Yahuwah Almighty, Elohim of Israel, the soul in anguish, the troubled spirit crieth unto thee. Hear, O Yahuwah, and have mercy. Thou art merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee. For thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly. O Yahuwah Almighty, thou God of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearkened unto the voice of thee, their Elohim. For the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time. For thou art Yahuwah our Elohim, and thee, O Yahuwah, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahuwah our Elohim. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave? Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if thou hast walked in the way of Elohim, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. Who hath found out her place, or who hath come into her treasures? Where are the princes of the heathen become, and such as ruled the beast upon the earth? They that had their pastime and with the fowls of the air, and they that hoarded up silver and gold, wherein men trust and made no end of their getting? For they that wrought in silver, and were so careful, and whose works are unsearchable, they are vanished and gone down to the grave, and others are come up to their steads. Young men have seen light and dwelt upon the earth, but the way of knowledge have they not known, nor understood the path thereof, nor laid hold of it. Their children were far off from that way. It hath not been heard of in Canaan, neither hath it been seen in Theman. The Agarenes that seek wisdom upon earth, the merchants of Meran and of Theman, the authors of fables and searchers out of understanding, none of these have known the way of wisdom, or remember her paths. O Israel, how great is the house of Elohim, and how large is the place of his possession! Great, and had none end, high and unmeasurable. There were the giants, famous from the beginning, that were of so great stature and so expert in war. Those did not Yahuwah choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them. But they were destroyed because they had no wisdom, and perished through their own foolishness. Who hath gone up into heaven and taken her and brought her down from the clouds? Who hath gone over the sea and found her and will bring her for pure gold? No man knoweth her way, nor thinketh of her path, but he that knoweth all things knoweth her, and hath found her with his understanding. He that prepared the earth for evermore hath filled it with four-footed beasts. He that sendeth forth light, and it goeth, calleth it again, and it obeyeth him with fear. The stars shined in their watches and rejoiced. When he calleth them, they say, Here we be. And so with cheerfulness they shewed light unto him that made them. This is our Elohim, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of him. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved. Afterward did he show himself upon earth, and conversed with men. Baruch chapter 4. This is the book of the commandments of Elohim, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Yahuwah are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Elohim to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to Elohim. Ye have forgotten the everlasting Elohim that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you. For when she saw the wrath of Elohim coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. Yahuwah hath brought upon me great mourning, for I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of Yahuwah. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverenced old man nor pitied child. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone desolate without daughters. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace, and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto Yahuwah, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Elohim will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our Elohim, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Elohim. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahuwah. For ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from Elohim, so being returned seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Elohim. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Elohim. Baruch chapter 5. Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of mourning and affliction, and put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from Elohim forever. Cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness which cometh from Elohim, and set a diadem on thine head of the glory of the everlasting. For Yahuwah will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. For thy name shall be called of Elohim forever, the peace of righteousness, and the glory of Elohim's worship. Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of Elohim. For they departed from thee on foot, and were led away of their enemies. But Elohim bringeth them unto thee exalted with glory as children of the kingdom. For Elohim hath appointed that every high hill and banks of long continuance should be cast down, and valleys filled up, to make even the ground that Israel may go safely in the glory of Elohim. Moreover, even the woods and every sweet-smelling tree shall overshadow Israel by the commandment of Elohim. For Elohim shall lead Israel with joy in the light of his glory, with the mercy and righteousness that cometh from him.